hanging everyone else out to dry, and I cannot believe that Labour MPs are letting this happen again. I know that a lot of them are expecting a reshuffle after the May election. Let me tell them, it is not worth it. I say directly to those Labour MPs hoping to be ministers after May the 7th, you will condemn yourself to being sent out on the morning round to repeat things that you know are not true, that you don't believe in, and that you know will end in disaster. And they will end in disaster, Mr. Speaker, as everything the Prime Minister touches does. This vote should not be about loyalty to the Prime Minister, but about standards. Why should Labour MPs ruin their reputations to save a man who has never shown loyalty to them? He has shown that he will throw everybody under a bus. Sue Gray, Morgan McSweeney, Sir Chris Wilmord, Sir Ollie Robbins. Do Labour MPs really think that if this goes wrong, he's not going to throw all of them under a bus? There are some of them walking around Parliament telling everyone that they're going to be one-term MPs, and so it doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter. Because when they leave this place, no one is going to remember what their whips told them to do. People will only remember that they voted for a cover-up. That is what will follow them around like a bad smell until the end of their careers. That's what's going to be in their Wikipedia entries. Yes, I will give way.
Would my right honourable friend agree with me that this issue will be resolved in one or two places? It will either be resolved in the Court of Public Opinion or in front of the Privileges Committee. And it's actually in the Prime Minister's interests to have it resolved by a cross-party committee of this House, which would give confidence to the public that the truth had been found, that the case had been made or not, and that they would have confidence going forward. The public will make up its own mind without the Privileges Committee.
Yes. That's right. The Honourable Gentleman is absolutely right. I trust the Privileges Committee to do the right thing, as I always have. And I've got some advice for Labour MPs. There is nothing wrong, yes, there is nothing wrong with giving your party leader the benefit of the doubt. There's nothing wrong with that. As a minister 4 years ago, I gave my party... I don't know why they're laughing. I haven't got to the punchline yet. Hang on, wait for it. As a minister 4 years ago, I gave my party leader the benefit of the doubt, but I trusted the Privileges Committee to do the right thing, even when it was led by a former leader of the Labour Party. We did not block the Privileges Committee looking to things, and the minute that I was asked to go out and say something that wasn't true, I resigned. None of them want to do that. I will always be able to hold my head up high because I did the right thing. I do not understand why Labour MPs are quite happy repeating things that aren't true. We have all seen the Hansard. That's the difference between them and us. When we get things wrong, we put our hands up and say so. They pretend, Mr. Speaker, they pretend that the wrong thing is actually the right thing. They pretend that the bad thing is actually a good thing because it's Labour MPs who are doing it. That's what they're being whipped to do today. It's the same way the Mandelson appointment happened. Because they thought they were appointing him, it must be a good thing. That's what's happening again today. They are being whipped to do the wrong thing. If they are telling the entire country that nothing matters, in a moment, if they are telling the entire country that nothing matters except avoiding scrutiny of this Prime Minister who won't answer questions at that dispatch box, then they're telling people that the Labour Party is not worth voting for. It does not exist. That this is not the Labour Party of Attlee and Bevan and Wilson. That Labour Party no longer exists because they would never do this. They would never be voting for someone who had stood at that dispatch box less than a week ago and read out doctored statements from the head of the Foreign Office like the Prime Minister did. Yes, I will give way. I will give way.
On the point of reading out statements, I thank the Right Honourable Lady for giving way. I can see that she's enjoying reading out her statement. But what I can't see is the case that she is making about the Privileges Committee. What I can't see is what she doesn't think is right about a criminal investigation, about inquiries that are consistently being made about the decision that was made that we have accepted was wrong. What's wrong with the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, and what's wrong with the processes that are in?
I'm sorry, you're out of scope. Come here.
Perhaps she should have just taken the Whip's questions instead of messing that one up. She does raise an interesting point about the Foreign Affairs Select Committee. It's only looking at Mandelson. It's not looking into the issue of the Prime Minister misleading the House. Let's stop pretending that the Select Committee is a massive inquiry. It really isn't. Yes.
Mr. Rushworth, are you sure it's a point of order? Sure. Let's hear it.
A moment ago, the Leader of the Opposition described the statement read by the Prime Minister as doctored. Now, doctored is akin to saying that it was dishonest, that it was lying. Is that not unparliamentary language, Mr. Speaker?
Oh, no. As I suspected, it's not a point of order. You need to read the rulebook. This is a substantive motion. This isn't the normal debate. So please, it might be helpful if you took some time out rather than question. You might be onto something, but it's not today.
Mr. Speaker, time and time again throughout this debate, I've seen Labour MPs stand up showing that they do not understand what the rules are or what this is about. This is not about whether or not, this is not about the specific statements, this is about whether or not we should have a referral to the Privileges Committee. They are moving the goalposts because they don't want to answer that simple question. And they've come up with all sorts of excuses. It is not an excuse to say that there is a war on. The Prime Minister has said repeatedly that we are not in this war. He can't have it both ways. At every turn, he has tried to deny this House full transparency over this appointment. We had a vote in the House for documents to be released, and yet we discover that documents are not being released. That is a contempt of this Parliament. Labour MPs supported that humble address because they knew that we needed to see the truth. Documents from that release show due process was not followed. The ISC is complaining that the documents are being delayed. We only discovered there were numerous problems with Mandelson's vetting because of a leak to The Guardian. The truth is being covered up. Today's vote is about whether they want to be complicit in this cover-up. If they vote against that investigation by the Privileges Committee, they are in this together. This motion is supported across the House, Mr. Speaker, including by Labour MPs, which is why they have to be whipped to vote against it. The member for Hull East was tweeting, saying that he was making a referral to privileges last week before he deleted that tweet. This week, he is calling it a stunt. Why? Who's twisting his arm? Why was it not a stunt last week when he was doing it, but it's a stunt this week when everybody else is doing it? Why? For those who are mindlessly repeating the lines the Labour whips have given them, may I remind them that it is also their job to hold the government to account and uphold the standards of our democracy. Appointing a known national security risk to be ambassador to the United States is a profound failure of government. Do they not think that it is important the Prime Ministers tell the truth on a matter of national security? Or do they think that this is an internal Labour Party matter that they can fix themselves? And for those people who believe that Andy Burnham is coming to rescue them, can I just say that if they vote against this investigation, there will be so much contempt for Labour that there is no by-election on this planet that Andy Burnham will be able to win. This is not an internal Labour Party matter, Mr. Speaker. Do they believe that when something is wrong, we should look into it? This is about whether they believe the Prime Ministers should not destroy the careers of civil servants to cover up for their own failures. I know it is very difficult for Labour MPs to walk through the lobby with other parties. But let me be clear what they are saying if they vote against this motion. Would they rather be on the side of Peter Mandelson, of convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, of Morgan McSweeney and Matthew Doyle, on the side of the man who sacked Sir Chris Wormald, sacked Sir Ollie Robbins, Sue Gray? Is that what they came to Parliament for? Yesterday, we read that the honourable member for Stoke-on-Trent South said we should do this so she could pay off her new kitchen. Do they really want to tell their constituents that they voted against this inquiry because they are more concerned about their own personal finances than probity in public life? Because that is a shocking statement. Every MP voting on this motion today will need to examine their conscience on all sides of the House, Mr. Speaker. This is not a matter of party loyalty. It is a matter of what each and every one of us believes is right. They are being asked to defend a man who has let the country down, he has let Parliament down, and let's be honest, he has let the Labour Party down. So I say to Labour MPs today, you can defend the Prime Minister today, and there are enough of you to get through the vote, but you will be complicit in a shameful abandoning of promises made to the electorate, promises every Labour MP stood on. It is up to them what kind of MP they choose to be. They can choose to live up to their promises on standards to ensure proper scrutiny takes place and allow the Privileges Committee to get to the bottom of this, or they can choose to put party before country. Their vote will define them, and the public is watching.